Hello and welcome to whoever happened to stumble upon this video or come back to my channel. Hi, my name is Dana and I'm very happy to have you guys here today. So today I'm going to be making a video all about how to make a vision board and showing you guys me making my 2021 vision board. I'm excited. So this is actually my first time making a vision board. If you guys don't know what a vision board is, maybe you are not familiar with them, so I'll show you mine. I actually did it already. Here it is. I did it in my bullet journal, but you can do it on like a piece of paper, on a poster board, hang it up on your wall. It's really personal preference because I know people like to look at them every day. That's like a part of it. So I have mine in my journal because I use my bullet journal every single day. That's basically where you go through and you come up with like your goals and things you want to achieve and just kind of the vibe that you want for your new year, and you kind of make it onto like a board for you to look at every day. And part of it that people say is it's like manifesting and kind of putting your energy out there into the universe, and those things will come to you. Which I think is part of it, but also for me, I think it's just being really clear about your intentions for the year. And if you are like really honest and sit down with yourself and kind of decide like, these are the things that I want to get done this year, and you truly believe that you can achieve them, then I think you are more likely to do so. So now that we know what a vision board is, let's talk about how to make one. So the first thing you want to do is you want to sit down and write your goals for the year. So when you're coming up with your goals, you want to make sure that they are goals you think you can achieve. However, you don't want to make them like super basic. Like obviously at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm going to graduate school. It's not like that's something that I think is not realistic for me. But you do want to make them kind of things you have to work towards as well. Like obviously 5,000 subscribers, that's not something I know is going to come to me this year. It's something that I want to work towards. But at the same time, you want to make your goals achievable because you want it to be something that you know you really can do. So I'm not just gonna say like, I'm gonna become a millionaire in 2021, because I don't think that is a realistic goal for me. But you know, maybe it is for you. That'd be super cool. And if we'll talk about like SMART goals, I feel so silly talking about that because it's a really like legit thing. However, like when I do my RA training, they make us talk about SMART goals, so it just feels silly to be talking about it on here. But if you're not familiar with SMART goals, so you want to make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, I believe is what it stands for. But basically what that means is you want to make sure your goals are something specific. So I don't want to just say like, I'm going to grow on YouTube, because then how will I know if I've achieved that? So that's what you put a number on it. You want to make sure it's something you think you're going to be able to do in X amount of time. So obviously for my vision board for a year, it's going to be for the year. So that's my time frame, and it's realistic. So I'm not going to say I'm going to get 1 million subscribers, because I mean, is it possible? Yes, but do I think it's realistic? No. So that's basically what you want to keep in mind when you're setting your goals. I will share mine with you. I know sometimes people like blur them out, but I would love to share with you guys my goals for the year. So you want to kind of come up with what categories you want your goals to be. So you think about like your personal life, either your academic or career, and like for me, I'm a YouTuber, so like my YouTube goals. The first thing I did was I sat down and I came up with my academic and career goals. So if you guys are new to me, you don't know who I am, hi, I'm a senior in college, so I will be graduating college this year. So that is my first goal, is that I want to graduate nursing school. I'm a nursing major. I want to pass the NCLEX, which if you guys don't know what that is, that's like the licensing exam you take after you finish nursing school to become a registered nurse. And I want to get a job as specifically a pediatric nurse. That's what I really want to do. So those are my three main goals that I want to achieve for my career / academic area. So then the next category I did was my YouTube goals. So I want to get monetized. I'm really close to meeting the requirements. I think I'll meet them either right at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, but then YouTube has to go and review your channel. So that will probably happen in early 2021. And once I do get monetized, I would love to make a video on that for you guys, where I kind of go through the process and how long it took me and everything like that, if you guys are interested in that. And maybe I'll make it after like inevitably my first YouTube paycheck, so I can talk about how long that took as well. So if you guys would be interested in seeing that, let me know. Speaking of, my second YouTube goal is to get my first YouTube paycheck. I didn't end up writing this down when I wrote my goals, but I did add it to my vision board. I also want to get my first sponsorship in 2021. I didn't write like what brands I'm interested in working with, because I'll kind of see what opportunities come my way. Obviously, I want to work with brands that kind of align with my vision and the kind of stuff I talk about on my channel, and not just like anybody, but you know, someone who I think would be a good fit for us. And then my next goal, I was a little unsure about what number specifically I wanted to pick for my subscriber goal, because this was my first year on YouTube, so I don't know how fast growth really occurs, so I didn't know what to expect really, but I set my goal at 5,000 subscribers by the end of next year. Next category, I did personal goals, so just kind of things for me in my life that I want to do that aren't really related to like work or school or YouTube or anything like that. So my first one is I want to travel. Hopefully, that will be an option in 2021. I know we have my family vacation booked. It'll probably be our last like family vacation, the 4 of us, because I'm graduating and moving out. That's also one of my goals on my list, but we'll get to that one. A trip planned to Hawaii, so hopefully it's for August. We'll be able to go. And then another thing is I want to visit a national park. So I went to Acadia National Park with Joe. Joe's my boyfriend if you're new to my channel. Back in July. I can link that vlog because it was so much fun. So I really want to do that. Specifically, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I wanted to go to the Grand Canyon my entire life and I've never been. And Joe and I are talking about going after we finish school. So hopefully, again, that will be an option of something we can do this year. So those are 2 of my goals. They're kind of like travel goals. So one, to travel period, and to visit a national park. My next goal is I want to get my first apartment. Yay. Obviously I'm graduating school. I'm going to hopefully getting a job and moving out this year. So that is all really exciting stuff. And then next is I want to move to or near DC. I have a lot of family that lives down near DC. That's where I'm looking for jobs. That's where Joe is looking for jobs. So that is my ideal goal of where I would like to move. So now that we have our goals, what we have to do is we have to start crafting our vision board. What I did was I basically went onto Google Images, and you don't have to do everything via printing it out. You can draw things, you can just write things, so whatever you want your vision board to look like. Traditionally, people print out photos or cut things out of magazines. So I went onto good old Google Images, and for the most part, I just got the picture straight off there. I would look up like graduation, nurse, things like that, and to find images that I liked that represented my goals that I was drawn to. And then there was only one that I like edited myself, which I did on Canva, which I believe I screen recorded. So I literally just took a screenshot of like my YouTube name with how many subscribers I have, and I just put a little color box over to kind of blur out where it said 1,000 and wrote in 5,000. So if you guys want to make it like more personal to you, where you can really see your goals, so make it really clear like that, instead of just writing like 5,000 subscribers, you can like see yourself with 5,000 subscribers. You can edit things. I just used Canva. It was super easy to do, and I don't believe I edited any of my other ones. So yes, I went through and I printed out my photos. I was a little unsure what size. I could have made some of them a little bit bigger, but that's okay because I didn't know how big they would be when you print them out. Also, we like never have a printer at my house, so I had my dad print them out for me when he was at work, so I wasn't really in control of seeing how it printed out. It all worked out in the end. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to represent to you what you want it to represent. So once you have your things printed out, you want to cut around them. You can kind of do this, just cut them straight out. If you want to be a little fancy, you can cut them nice. Or if you have like fun scissors, you can do that. I'm really into scrapbooking lately, so I was getting my scrapbook vibes when I was cutting these out. Before you glue anything or tape anything down, you don't want to commit yet. Just kind of lay it out around and see how it looks, see how you're feeling. And then once you have a good layout, you can start taping everything down. It can definitely be a little bit overwhelming when you're starting out with just a blank sheet of paper. So what I recommend doing is kind of splitting up your different photos by their goals and just starting out in the corners and kind of placing things around, and then you'll start to see it come together as you get moving. And I made a little like name thing in the middle to say 2021 vision board, which I ended up changing because I didn't like how it looked, but you can either write it. I used a little piece of paper, a little color. Like I said, we're really vibing with the scrapbooking lately, so I did that. You can also write directly on your paper. You can do it in just your hand lettering if you have any special calligraphy, or if you don't like your handwriting, you could always print out the words 2021 vision board when you're printing out your photos. And then once I glued everything down, I mostly used my Tombow Fudenosuke pens. I just got a set of the colored pens. I'm going to be reviewing those, so stay tuned for that. Probably in the early January, that video will be coming out. And my just Micron fine liners. So the first thing I did was I changed the grad cap. I made the year 21 because that is when I'm graduating. I didn't want to edit that one on my computer and make it all crazy, so I just wrote over it. That's a super easy option if you're someone who doesn't know how to edit photos, or you really just don't want to. You can just write over your pictures and make them a little more specific, or just get vaguer photos. So like above for the graduation one, it's just kind of a silhouette of people graduating. So on top of that, I wrote TCNJ class of 21, so it is more specific to me and my goal. So you guys definitely should not worry when you're putting down your photos or printing them out about having blank space, because part of the fun is you can go in and doodle things. As you can see, I drew a little key next to home sweet apartment because, you know, I want to move out and get my first apartment. And then you can just write things next to your goals to kind of be more specific about what your goal is. Like under the airplane for travel, I wrote Hawaii, which is where my family vacation will be to, hopefully, and Grand Canyon because that's where I want to go. So you can really kind of just add things in, especially if you're not as much of a visual person. It might be better for you to write things out. Like I said earlier, this is my first ever vision board, but something I used to do in the past. I would do it for school years in high school. So the night before the first day of school, I would write myself a letter where I would talk about all of the things I would like to achieve by the end of the school year, and then I would open it up and read it on the last day of school and kind of see how my year went. So that's actually a great option for you guys if you aren't into the idea of a vision board, and it doesn't have to be like a secret thing that you keep from yourself where you don't look at it. It can be a letter that you write and you read it every day, or you could have it kind of in your notebook, something similar to a vision board but with a written version, as you guys have been seeing. And I just kind of wrote things around my goals, kind of like positive affirmations. Either like I drew some things, I drew some dollar signs next to getting monetized, I drew a little key next to my first apartment, and then I just kind of wrote like either things to kind of describe the goal a little more. Like under the picture of Washington DC, I wrote move out. It was kind of hard for me to find a picture that I liked for monetization, so I just kind of put the little symbol of what it looks like when you're looking at your video to show that it's monetized. So above that, I just wrote what my goal is: first YouTube paycheck, first YouTube sponsorship, and then I kind of just wrote like positive affirming things next to my goals. So like underneath nurse, I wrote Dana RN because that is what I'm trying to become. I wrote like new friends, new city by moving out. I wrote where I wanted to travel. Next to the jobs, I wrote hired, great unit, great coworkers, great hospital, just all things that I want to come to me in the new year. Alright guys, and here is a final look at what my vision board looks like. I'm super excited about how it came out. I really wasn't planning on writing so much stuff on it, but honestly that was like the most fun part, to kind of write like the positive affirmations about my goals, and it made me super excited for this upcoming year, and hopefully at the end of 2021 I will have achieved most, if not all, of my goals. Alright guys, so I think that's just about it for my vision board. If you guys are inspired, I hope you are. I hope you go on and make your own. You can tag me either on my personal or my art Instagram. I'm probably going to be posting a picture of my vision board on my art Instagram when this video goes up. Follow me to check out those and all the posts that I make. Like this video if you liked it, if you're gonna go make a vision board. Subscribe if you are not already. You can help me hit my 2021 goals if you're watching this in 2021 or the end of 2020 and you want to give me a head start. I post some videos every Sunday and Wednesday, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.
What is it you want, Barry? What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso.